Hello, I'm Norm Morrison, and welcome to the Santa Fe Report and Casita de Morrison. You may notice a bit of a change in my voice today. I've come down with some sort of a bug a few days ago, and just a sore throat, not that bad, and really have been feeling, pretty good otherwise, although it's really sapped my energy, and I'm finding that mid-afternoon naps are kind of a good idea. Now, I'm attributing my voice change to that. Maybe I'm just going through puberty, and there's a flood of hormones going through my body, and if that's the case, parents of Santa Fe, lock up your daughters. Of course, at this stage of the game, the parents I would be speaking to are in their 70s and 80s. But the truth really is that my voice isn't changing so much as I'm finding my voice. It's just one of the changes, part of the evolution that I've been going through in a pretty rapid manner in the last few months since moving to New Mexico. Now, this has been going on, this evolution, 10 plus years now, and it's sort of been slow and gradual ascent. But in the last 7 months since I've been here, it's just really ramped up and accelerated. And looking back, I hardly recognize the guy that I used to be. It's really quite interesting. And for instance, just to give you a few examples of my evolution of how things have changed for me, I used to be a gun guy. I had hunting rifles and shotguns and sidearms and whatnot, and I used to hunt. But I haven't done that for a long time. My interest in guns has just sort of dissolved, and I've got nothing against them, and I've got nothing against hunting if it's done responsibly, but it just isn't something that's part of me anymore. Now, I'm not against guns, but neither am I for them. And quite frankly, there's places on this earth that I wouldn't go if I wasn't carrying a gun. But since I don't choose to do that, I just don't go to those places. Politically, where I used to be a pretty conservative guy, my perspectives now have what I would describe as softened pretty dramatically. And when I say I was conservative, don't equate that with being Republican. But I've softened up. I've become more liberal, I guess is probably the best term in my perspectives on life. And again, when I say liberal, do not equate that with democratic. I'm neither Republican or Democrat. And our political system, if you really understand it, you'll know that it's the same beast with two heads. There's very little difference between our political parties. And neither side is right nor wrong. Neither side is good nor bad. Each side just has its own perspective of the way things should be. The unfortunate part is that in a lot of cases, in most cases, that political agendas serve the politicians and those people that pay them. They don't serve us. They don't serve the country, and that's unfortunate. But I also am optimistic that things will change in the relatively new future, the relatively near future, pardon me. If I had to describe myself now, I would say that I am much more libertarian in my views. And essentially that means that I want to have the freedom and liberty to do what I want, so long as I'm not harming anyone else and not harming that around me. And that's not a particularly popular view. Everyone's so polarized in, being conservative or being liberal and thinking that their perspective is the only perspective, and of course it's not. It's just their perspective. There's 7.2 million people on the earth approximately, and there's that many perspectives. Some of them are similar, of course, but everyone's perspective is unique to them. I am a huge Second Amendment supporter, and not because it's about guns, but because it's about liberty. And when you look around in this country, particularly in the last almost 12 years, we've seen so many of our liberties and our freedoms slowly eroded away. And it's been done so incrementally that we hardly notice. And the things that we do notice, we're told that they've been done in the name of security, of our security. But the fact is, there is no security in life. Absolutely none. Security is fear-based. We need to feel secure because we think that we'll lose something, that something will change, and God forbid that anything change in our lives. It doesn't matter how secure you think you are making yourself, you cannot live in complete security. And when you come to realize that, when you're able to let go of the need for security, it's incredibly liberating, because you're no longer in fear of being in loss and of being in change. There's a lot of freedom comes with that, my friends. Now, I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't leave home without locking your door, or that you shouldn't plan your finances in such a way that you'll hopefully have money for your retirement. But know that no matter how secure you think you are, anything can come out of left field and change that feeling of security. So get over it. There is no security. It's a complete illusion. Now, just to give you a few other examples, my haircut. Now, this is as long as my hair has been for a lot of years. For a good deal of my life, I've had pretty much a traditional military-style haircut, and it was probably mostly out of force of habit. But since moving here, I've let it grow just as of the last couple of months or so. And I actually did get a bit of a trim here last week because of my daughter's wedding, which is coming up very shortly. But I've had a couple of friends of mine suggest that I should let my hair grow long. Like, we're talking ponytail length long. And I'm seriously thinking about that. So a year from now, or maybe even not that long, you might see me in a ponytail. And if I don't like that, I can change it. We can always change. We can always change the circumstances in our lives. So we'll see. I haven't made a decision on that yet. I wear jewelry of some type on pretty much an everyday basis now. And it's not that I never wore it before. I used to have bracelets and whatnot, but it was like an occasional sort of thing. But now it's pretty much all the time. Now, here's my bracelet. Okay, silver and turquoise. I wear this every day, for the most part. And I wear studs in my ears, both ears. Okay, can you see that? Okay, now the Norm Morrison of even a year ago would not have remotely considered the possibility of having studs in his ears. Okay, just wasn't something that Norm Morrison did at any rate. And I didn't have anything against people that did, guys that did, but it just wasn't for me. But something shifted that allowed me to think that, you know, maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea. Maybe that'd be kind of fun to do. Let's try it. And I had mentioned this to a friend, and at Christmas time, last Christmas, she took me out and bought me a set of studs, which was very kind of her. And, you know, I kind of like them. You know, I don't know if I'll wear them forever or not, but at least for now, I think they're kind of cool. You'll probably see me with some rings on, maybe some danglies. Who knows? Most of the people I know, most of my friends, have been very supportive of this evolution that they've seen me go through. But there have been a few people that are not so comfortable with it. For whatever reason, they aren't comfortable with the new Norm Morrison. And they have some particular beliefs that suggest to them that Norm Morrison needs to be a certain way, or men need to be a certain way, they need to behave in such a manner, or they need to dress in a particular manner, whatever the case may be. And because I no longer fit their mold of what is proper for Norm Morrison or for men or whatever the case may be, they're not so supportive. And that's okay. Whatever people think of me is fine. I don't feel the need to be a certain way in order for people to accept me or for me to get their approval. And I guess that's the biggest change that's happened to me. That's the biggest part of my relatively recent evolution, is that I don't give a shit. I don't need anybody to approve of what I do or how I am. And that, my friends, is incredibly liberating. Thank you for being here. Hope you can make it back. So until next time, hasta luego, my friends. I'm Norm Morrison. This is the Santa Fe Report.